All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here on FM 1043 WQAM, and very excited to talk to our next guest, one of the most exciting fighters in all of the UFC, Khalil Rountree, joining us here. You guys can catch him this weekend, UFC 320 in his hometown of Las Vegas, taking on Jiří Procházka. Khalil, thanks for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for calling me one of the most exciting fighters. That means a lot.
No, well, it's it. I'm just speaking truths, man. Like every time you step in there, it's a thrill to watch you do your thing. I saw this a little bit on your YouTube. I mean, you seem very fired up to be able to do this in your backyard. I have talked to fighters in the past that have said, "Hey, it can be a bit of a burden fighting in your own town." How have you found it? Have you found it relaxing? Have you liked it being in all at home?
Uh, some days are different than the other ones, you know. Um, it's been interesting this time around, because essentially, like, my day-to-day routine hasn't really changed. You know what I mean? Versus like if we're fighting in another country, another state, it's usually like hotel rooms and trying to figure out where to eat, and just like, all these things. But every day has just been just like camp, just like the same old routine. Which can, like, it can be a bit weird, but overall, man, I've just been doing my best to enjoy it all.
Have so is there a mode like for family and friends around you? Like, do they know at a certain point, like, hey, leave them alone? Like, do you have you mastered kind of that seclusion of what you need during a fight week, or do you like mingling with people during a fight week? Like, what's the mode you go into?
Yeah, there's definitely a mode. I think friends and family definitely know, like, I'm on do not disturb. Even if I'm in town. Uh, yeah, I don't really like to pay attention to like anything that's going on online. The only texts that I really respond to are, stuff from the UFC staff as far as like fight week scheduling and stuff. But yeah, I'm just pretty locked in, and family knows that.
Fans are obviously fired up for this matchup with you and Yuri. Like, it's been said, how can this be a boring fight? But like he is very unique in the way he goes about things. Breaking down this fight, what have you found to be the most, I guess, challenging and interesting things about him as an opponent preparing for him?
Um, I just think that, it's just going to be an interesting thing. Like, I think for the most part, I'm just, prepared for fight night. Yeah, fans are correct. Everybody who has seen, his style and seen my style, I guess they kind of know what to expect. And it's really just, my job to go in there and just be prepared for, for whatever it is he brings. But um, I don't necessarily think that I'll be, surprised by anything unique or unorthodox. It's expected.
How is that as a fighter? Because it's we can be so greedy as fans watching it. Like, we want to see like the crazy wars, but like when when people talk about you guys sizing each other up or trying to break somebody down over a fight, what are the things, like, how does it depend on the opponent of how much you need to feel like you got your openings there to engage and feel like you got the most success to pull off what you need to pull off in a fight?
Hmm. I think it's just different for every individual, like fighting compared to, let's say, like a basketball or football, right? It's like it's a team sport. Those guys have to rely on each other and things. And for us, it's essentially just us going in there. So how we prepare and how we look at opponents, it really just comes down to us. And I think for me, I'd like to say, you know, I'd like to think confidently that, I've done what I need to do, to be able to solve the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I guess for an example, like when you took on Jamal last, like obviously everybody knows Jamal's a heavy hitter. You got to watch out. I mean, a lot of you guys are all 205, but was there a certain point in the fight where you felt, I guess, comfortable knowing, all right, this is going to work for me here? Like, does it take a round? Does it take half a round to get a beat on a guy?
Yeah, it varies. It varies with each opponent. I think that I kind of found my stride probably midway through the first round, with Jamal. With other guys, you know, uh, with other guys, it really just it kind of shifts. It's the tides turn depending on the round. Sometimes it takes two, sometimes it takes one. I'm interested to see how long it takes for me to find that stride on Saturday.
I mean, you're knocking on the door of a title. You've been taking on former champions, been in a championship fight, and your journey's been, so awesome to watch. How has it felt, I guess, this chapter of your career of like being right there amongst the elite and getting the chance to test your skills and has it matched up to what you thought it was? Is it more difficult? Do you feel right there? Do you feel like you're getting even in better? Like where do you find yourself grading yourself against championship caliber opponents?
Hmm. Like when I look at the stats and placements and the rankings and stuff, I can see that I'm right there. Um, and the rest of it just is just like work and focus, you know. Um, it's it's nice to be in this position, um, but it's a lot harder to keep this position. There's a lot more work and things that go into to being up here. The higher you climb the mountain, the higher the altitude gets. It's harder to breathe up here. You know what I mean? There's less oxygen up here. It's further away, it's far down. The way back is a lot further than the way up, and so yeah, it's just a lot of work and just continuing to try to reach the top.
You do in your career, you've done so many great things to sharpen those skills, like going to Thailand and things like that. When you feel like as your career, do you keep looking for those edges, or at this point in your career, do you feel like you're like kind of smoothing out what has worked for you the best to I guess keep getting edges?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Um, I'm the type of guy where I love new things. I love learning new things. I like to feel like, I remain a student of the game. Um, but then I also have to kind of get a little bit comfortable with like, okay, I've got the tools. You know what I mean? So I don't need to keep adding all of these new things because, the ingredients right now, they work. So it's a good even balance. But I think, and I like my plan is to, for the rest of my life, continue to just learn new things, learn new perspectives, new techniques, and just evolve as a martial artist. Anytime I think about an example of an MMA fighter, I always think of Anderson Silva. Even in his retired days now, he's still training, he's still learning, um, even if he's not going out there and competing. So I'd love to follow in those footsteps.
You ever go back and like YouTube fights? Like, is that a thing? Would you ever like, hey, I'm gonna go see Anderson's greatest hits just because I want to see something?
Yeah, yeah, there have been times where I'll go back and watch some of my favorite fights from Anderson and just kind of like take into consideration like where he was in his career, what was it like going through all of this stuff, being the best in the world, just being untouchable at times and just trying to relate, I guess, and just learn through watching. Yeah.
Some of the stuff on your vlogs was interesting, and you said something about you like doing music and art stuff, and that you've maybe had to put some of that stuff on the side because of your fighting career. How much does that stuff like bring you relief, like that artsy stuff that you get to kind of express yourself in a different way than just being a menacing badass all the time?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, it's given me a lot of relief. I mean, like I'm the type of guy where like, man, you can lock me in a studio for all day and I'll have so much fun just creating, and just for myself. Not that I'm trying to make like number one hits and stuff, but like just something about, like making music and expressing emotions and stuff through various type of arts. Yeah, it's there's always been like a safe place in that for me. And yeah, right now there there hasn't really been enough time in the day, for me to just like zone out and focus on, you know, creating music and stuff for hobbies. So it plays a big part of my life, and I think that's another thing that, when fighting's all over, I think I'll have some instruments and recording equipment and stuff at home just for the sake of, having it just for enjoyment.
Is that like you think post fight life, is that something you want to just pursue even more? Is there another avenue in the arts that you want to do even more, like that you've thought about, or this do you think it will always kind of stay at hobby range for you?
I definitely know that music will always stay at a hobby range. I was never like the best musician, you know. It was always just something that really just brought me comfort, just comfort and fun. I played in a couple of bands and stuff, which like they were pretty good, but I was never like, the best guitarist in the band and stuff. But I think as far as like creative outlets, after fighting would probably be more like in the fashion space for me. Yeah.
Like design clothes?
Yeah, so like right now, I'm co-creative director of the brand Santo Studio, for our submission collection. So we have clothing, shoes, bags, like we have everything that covers every area of like apparel. And we just launched the Tempo collection and then the Tempo submission collection, which will be for any type of grappling, martial arts, surfing, like compression wear. So I have a co-creative director spot in that, which also allows me to have some type of creative input in something that's, pretty artistic. And the guys within the company know that I've got a big mission at hand. I'm chasing the belt. So, which is why I'm like co-creative director. There's other guys that are, giving a lot of input, but they do allow me in there so that I can kind of give my 2 cents when I have the time, and it's a really good start, and it's a really good outlet for me to just kind of start that, after fight, learning the fashion business, learning just business in general.
Yeah.
It's been really cool when I have the time. Yeah.
That's very awesome. Khalil Rountree, catch him this weekend on UFC 320 on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Before I get you out of here, you do train around Merab, and I just curious because I just love his spirit watching him fight. Like, what are the things when you see him work day to day that you just are like, that's what makes him him?
Man, he's relentless. The energy, I don't know where he gets so much energy. Like the output is consistent on a day-to-day basis. Um, I don't ever really see him slow down, and I don't understand it. And so it's incredible to watch and to be in the building with him every day.
Well, it's always incredible to watch you fight, Khalil. We really appreciate the time, man. Looking forward to watching this weekend. Have a healthy week, man, and thanks for giving us some time.
Thanks, I appreciate it.